Your words hang in the cool night air, a playful parry that matches the discipline of your training. You offer him a small, enigmatic smile, the kind that has kept opponents guessing on the sparring floor for years. Julian's eyes widen slightly before he breaks into a grin, clearly delighted by the challenge.
A tactical assessment, I see. I am dealing with a professionnel. I shall have to be more diligent in my campaign to win your favor then.
He pushes off from the stone balustrade, his movements fluid and full of a restless, artistic energy. He doesn't seem deterred. If anything, your resistance has only sharpened his interest.
If the bridge is not enough to break your guard, perhaps a change of scenery is required.
The Marais is ancient, full of narrow paths and secrets that don't yield easily to outsiders. It is a place for those who know how to look.
The transition from the open expanse of the Seine to the cramped, historic heart of the Marais feels like stepping back in time. The cobblestones here are uneven, forcing you to walk closer to Julian as the sidewalks narrow. The scent of blooming jasmine from a hidden garden wall cuts through the evening chill.
Just around this corner, there is a gate that is usually locked, but the latch has a certain temperament.
He leads you to a heavy iron gate obscured by thick vines. With a practiced flick of his wrist, he disengages a hidden catch, and the gate creaks open to reveal a secluded courtyard centered around a dry stone fountain. The moonlight hits the white roses climbing the walls, making them glow like pearls. Julian steps into the center of the quiet space, the silence of the courtyard a stark contrast to the distant hum of the city. He turns back to you, the shadows of the ivy dancing across his face. He looks less like a tour guide now, and more like a man who has finally found the right setting for the truth. The iron gate clicks shut behind you, sealing out the muffled echoes of Parisian traffic. You step across the uneven cobblestones, the silk of your cerulean robes whispering against your legs. You stop only when you are inches from Julian, forcing him to look down at you. The scent of rain-damp stone and white roses is intoxicatingly sharp in the enclosed space.
You brought me somewhere private, Julian. A bold move for a strategist, or perhaps a calculated risk.
Julian's breath catches, the sound audible in the sudden stillness of the courtyard. He doesn't back away. Instead, he tilts his head, his hazel eyes tracking the movement of your lips before meeting your dark brown gaze with a heat that has nothing to do with the evening's warmth.
In my experience, the greatest treasures are always kept behind locked doors. I thought you might appreciate the exclusivity.
He reaches out, his hand trembling slightly as he tucks a stray strand of dark hair behind your ear. His fingers linger there, brushing against your temple.
I wasn't being a strategist just now, Wyndra. I just wanted a moment where I didn't have to share your attention with the rest of the world.
The moonlight spills over the high stone walls, casting long, dramatic shadows. Julian's hand moves from your hair to the side of your neck, his thumb tracing the line of your jaw. The disciplined warrior in you notes his proximity, his open posture, and the way his heart is thudding against his ribs. But for the first time, you aren't looking for a weakness to exploit. Julian leans in closer, his forehead almost touching yours. The air between you is electric, charged with the shared adrenaline of the night and the quiet intimacy of the hidden garden. He seems to be caught between the urge to speak and the urge to simply close the remaining distance. The stillness of the courtyard is absolute, save for the frantic rhythm of Julian's heart beneath your hands. You don't wait for him to find the words or the courage. Reaching up, you grip the thick, charcoal wool of his lapels and pull him down toward you. The kiss is a collision of curiosity and sudden, sharp relief. Julian makes a low sound in his throat, half surprise, half surrender, and his arms find their way around your waist, pulling your cerulean robes flush against his overcoat. He tastes of the dark espresso from the cafe and the cool evening air. His touch is no longer tentative. It is firm and grounding, anchoring you to the present moment more effectively than any martial discipline ever could.
Consider that my tactical assessment.
Julian pulls back just an inch, his forehead resting against yours. His hazel eyes are wide, dark with an intensity that seems to drink in the sight of you under the moonlight.
I think I've lost the ability to be a strategist. You've completely dismantled my defense, Wyndra.
He laughs softly, a shaky, breathless sound, and leans in to press his nose against yours, his hands sliding up your back to cradle your head.
I didn't realize the city was just going to be the frame for the most beautiful thing I've seen all year.
The white roses around you seem to glow brighter as the moon clears the roofline of the surrounding mansions. The world outside the iron gate feels like a distant memory, a different life lived by a different woman. Julian's hands linger on your cheeks, his thumbs tracing the line of your cheekbones. He looks at you with a hunger that is tempered by a profound, sudden respect. The intimacy of the courtyard has deepened, the air heavy with the possibility of what comes next. The white roses seem to lean in, eavesdropping on the sudden, profound silence of the courtyard. You shift your weight, the silk of your robes rustling as you step fully into Julian's space.
Then perhaps you should stop looking at the frame and focus on what's inside it.
You reach up, lacing your fingers behind his neck and pulling him close. You bury your face against the charcoal wool of his overcoat, breathing in the scent of cedarwood and the lingering crispness of the Parisian night. The fabric is slightly rough against your cheek, a grounding texture that contrasts with the ethereal glow of the moonlit garden. Julian's arms wrap around you instantly, his grip firm and protective, as if he's anchoring you both to this single, quiet coordinate in a city of millions.
I think I could stay right here until the sun comes up over the Seine. The rest of the city can wait.
He rests his chin atop your head, his breath warm against your hair. For a warrior accustomed to the constant vigilance of the blade, the sensation of being held without the need for defense is a rare, intoxicating luxury. The tension that usually coils in your shoulders begins to dissolve, replaced by the steady, rhythmic thrum of his heartbeat against your chest. You let out a soft, huffed laugh against his chest, feeling the vibration of his own chuckle in response.
Consider my guard officially dropped, Julian. For tonight, at least.
The air grows colder as a breeze whistles through the iron gate, but the heat between you remains. Julian pulls back just enough to look into your eyes, his hands sliding down to rest on your waist. He looks as though he wants to say something profound, but the weight of the moment seems to tether his tongue. The cool night air of the Marais bites at your skin, but the heat radiating from Julian is an irresistible lure. You don't offer a verbal answer to his teasing question. Instead, you tighten your grip on his neck, pulling him back down into your orbit. This time, there is no surprise, only a mutual deepening hunger. The kiss is slow, a deliberate exploration that mirrors the way you have navigated the city together. You feel the rough wool of his coat, the softness of his chestnut hair between your fingers, and the steady, grounding strength of his hands at your waist. The discipline of the warrior falls away completely, replaced by a raw, adult desire that hums through your veins.
Wyndra.
He murmurs your name against your lips, a sound of pure, unadulterated want. He shifts his stance, pressing you back against the cool stone of the dry fountain, his body a warm weight against yours. The scent of white roses and old stone fades into the background, leaving only the taste of him and the sound of your shared, uneven breathing.
You said you wanted to show me how the city feels. I think I finally understand.
Julian pulls back just an inch, his hazel eyes dark and pupils dilated in the moonlight. He looks at you with a mix of reverence and fierce attraction, his thumb tracing the curve of your lower lip.
The city was just the beginning. I think I'm done being a guide for the night. I'd much rather just be the man standing here with you.
The intimacy in the secluded courtyard has reached a fever pitch. Julian's hands slide beneath the heavy silk of your sleeves, his skin hot against your arms. The playful banter of the evening has shifted into something far more serious and private. He waits for your lead, his gaze searching yours for the signal to either stay in this moonlit garden or take the night to its natural conclusion. You shift closer, resting your forehead against the soft wool of Julian's lapel. The silence of the Marais courtyard is a rare gift, and you find yourself unwilling to break the spell by moving.
Stay like this with me for a while. I don't want the night to end.
Julian's arms tighten around you, his chin resting gently atop your head. He breathes in deeply, the scent of your hair mixing with the midnight jasmine.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere. The Louvre can keep its statues. I have everything I need right here in this garden.
He begins to sway almost imperceptibly, a slow, rhythmic movement that mimics a dance without music. You follow his lead, your cerulean robes brushing against his legs as you move together in the moonlight. The fountain behind you remains silent, but the air feels alive with the unspoken weight of the connection you've forged between the Trocadero and this hidden sanctuary.
You know, for someone who carries a blade, you have a remarkable capacity for stillness, Wyndra. Most people are too busy running to the next thing to actually inhabit the space they're in.
You pull back slightly to look at him, your dark eyes reflecting the silver orb of the moon.
In my world, stillness is where you find the truth. And tonight, the truth is very pleasant.
Julian smiles, his hazel eyes crinkling at the corners. He reaches down and takes your hand, his thumb tracing circles over your knuckles. The initial rush of the kiss has settled into a warm, simmering glow that feels more permanent than a fleeting spark. He looks toward the iron gate, then back at you, offering a silent question about where the remaining hours of the night might lead. Julian's grin turns predatory in the most charming way possible, his hazel eyes dancing with the reflected moonlight of the courtyard. He lets go of your waist only to take your hand, his fingers lacing firmly through yours.
The tour never truly ends, Wyndra. It only evolves.
But since you've proven yourself such a formidable student of the first two secrets, I think you're ready for the third.
He leads you back toward the iron gate, the latch clicking shut behind you with a finality that feels like leaving a dream behind. The narrow streets of Le Marais are even quieter now, the amber streetlights casting long, dramatic shadows against the medieval stone. You walk in a comfortable silence, the rhythm of your boots on the cobblestones matching his.
The third secret is that Paris isn't just about the sights or the taste. It's about the sanctuary you find when the world stops watching.
He stops in front of a blue wooden door, tucked between a boutique and a small bookstore. It looks unremarkable to any passerby, but as Julian produces a heavy brass key, you realize this is no public landmark. He pushes the door open, revealing a spiral staircase illuminated by warm, low-level lighting. The air here is thick with the scent of creativity and home. Julian tosses his overcoat onto a chair, appearing more relaxed than he has all evening.
Welcome to my real map of the city, my atelier. No tourists, no accordions, just the truth.
Julian moves to the small kitchenette to put on a kettle, but his gaze remains fixed on you as you explore the space. The intimacy of the courtyard has followed you here, amplified by the privacy of his personal sanctuary. He leans against the counter, watching the way your cerulean robes contrast with the industrial brick of his home.